Good Sunday morning, friends. How are you? Now, I had a whole different menu planned for this morning. So, well, not for this morning, for Sunday dinner. I was going to make like hamburger steaks and sauteed mushrooms and onions and gravy. Well, I asked Brock this morning to go out and get me a pack of corn from the freezer that I wanted to have for Sunday dinner. And he noticed that the door to the little freezer was not shut all the way. It's a stand-up fridge, the freezer on top. The door wasn't shut all the way. Have you heard that joke? When is a door not a door? When it's ajar? I never got that joke till I was older. But anyway, a couple of items that was closest to the door were starting to thaw, and one of them was this roast. Sirloin. It's a sirloin. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to change gears and we're going to make sirloin tips with sauteed mushrooms and onions. So when God closes the window, he opens a freezer door and you change your dinner plans. Also, there was some wild turkey breast that was starting to thaw. I said, bring it on in. I'll throw it in the slow cooker and we'll cook it off and I'll shred it and we'll make noodles with it or some kind of casserole. But anyway, the meat is too expensive and too delicious to waste. So here is our sirloin. We're going to take care of that. I keep wanting to call it a chuck. He's not a chuck. He's a sirloin. Sorry, sirloin. Okay, so I've got my saute feature on my Ninja. I'm going to put in those onions. Just some chopped onions. If you don't have a saute feature, it's fine. Just put it in a skillet. You can do the same thing. I'm going to give those a few minutes. I'm going to grab my new seasoning. This is that new seasoning I was telling you about. The pink sea salt, black pepper, and garlic. So it's just kind of everything in one. I used to use Spiceology, SPG, salt, pepper, garlic, and I love it. But you know, sometimes you want to change it up and try this. It's got little other things in it besides. It's got red bell pepper, lemon peel, parsley, garlic oil. I was like, yeah, sign me up. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of that in. I'm going to give those a few minutes till they start to kind of cook down a little bit, and then we're going to add our sliced mushrooms, and I'll be right back. So our onions have started to get translucent and caramelize a little bit. Let me see if I can show you here. There we go. Now we're going to add in our mushrooms. Now, I very rarely rinse mushrooms. These are sliced. If they're dirty, I just wipe them off with a paper towel. I don't want to add any more moisture. A little dirt won't hurt you. All right. There we go. I'm going to give those a few minutes, and I'll be right back. Probably about, I would say about 3 minutes on the onions. That's personal preference. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more of the seasoning to the mushrooms, just a tad. We're going to give those a stir. Smells wonderful. I'll be right back. So the mushrooms and onions are sauteing. So I have my sirloin here. I keep calling him Chuck. So we're just going to transfer him to the cutting board here. I think I'll save this one. So I'm just going to cut it into cubes. Oh, she's still a little froze. I actually think I might need my fillet knife here. There we go, I got it. Okay. I think I want to switch to my fillet knife. I really love a fillet knife. Brock keeps this one super sharp for me. I have a lot of control with it. Move this off over here. So I'm just going to chunk this. Cut it however you would like. This is some beef that we had butchered. It's nice, beautiful beef. I did not want to waste it. I mean, still just a tad bit frozen in the center. It's fine. It'll be fine. Putting it in the slow cooker, it'll all work out. I can get through it with the knife. That's the important part. All right, these are the chunks that you want. You can trim the fat away. I don't. There's not much fat on it. I like that fat on there. Those to me are the best pieces. Gives a little bit of extra flavor there. I'm going to continue to do this, and I'll be right back. So our mushrooms and onions have cooked down beautifully. We got some great color. I'll show you here. I would take this off, but it'll go crazy. So there is our mushroom. Here's the color on our mushrooms and onions. Smell fabulous. If I take that out of that base, it'll just beep, beep, go crazy. So anyway, I'm going to add some garlic. Add a tablespoon. Personal preference. Give it a stir. I wish you could smell my house right now because I've got bread in the oven. I've got these sauteed mushrooms and onions. Ooh, it smells so good. All right, so we've got our sirloin here. I'm gonna season it. That same seasoning. There we go. Now I'm going to just kind of spread it out here. I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch. This will help thicken up that beef broth to give this a little extra color. You could use flour. You don't need a whole lot, just a touch there. Okay, give that a little bit of a mix. I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt. This has salt in it, but just a little bit more here. Go. I'm going to drop this directly into my slow cooker. Give it a stir. All right, I'll be right back. So I'd forgotten to grab my bacon grease. Just a little, just a smidgen, just a smidgen. And add that in there. Now we're going to give that sirloin just a few minutes to saute, hang out, get to know the mushrooms and onions. Everybody tell their sign. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so I gave our beef a few minutes to saute with those mushrooms and onions and get a little bit of color on it. I want you to be able to see that. Can you see that there? All right, now I'm going to take a can of beef broth. This is a 14.5-ounce can. And we put that cornstarch in there, so that'll also help thicken up that beef broth to kind of make like a gravy. All right, so there it is. I'm going to put it back over here. I'm going to, let's see. Oh my goodness. Sorry, having trouble seeing. I'm going to put it on high, slow cook for 6 hours. It may not be in there that long, but that's just what I'm going to set it for because I'm lazy. I don't want to work on it. I don't want to set it on anything else. So it's 8:15 in the morning. So I'm going to let it go for that. I will check on it It may not be in there that long, and it may be in there longer. I don't know. I want those tips nice and tender, delicious. So I'm going to go for now, and I will check back with you later and check out our tips. So our beef tips are ready to finish off. 4 hours on high. Now that is with my slow cooker and the tenderness that I wanted with my sirloin tips. So it may be longer and it may be less for you. So what we're going to do now is I want to thicken up that gravy. So I have here, I have about a tablespoon of cornstarch. We made a slurry, a couple tablespoons of water. We're going to add that right in. Give that a mix. Give it a chance to thicken up. So with it, the boys decided to have rice. So I'm going to get ready to fix some rice. I've got freezer corn going here from our freezer. And I'm also doing a batch of green beans. My neighbor was selling green beans, so I ran down to her house and bought a few pounds of green beans. I've already put one in the freezer, and I'm cooking one. So, yeah, delicious fresh produce today. I'll be back to show you our finished dinner. So here we go. Here is Sunday dinner. Here are those beef tips with the mushrooms and the onions and the gravy, and I've got a little bit of rice. I'm a big rice fan, so I've got a little bit on the side. We've got our fresh freezer corn and some cottage cheese. Let's give those sirloin tips a try. Delicious. They were simple. Throw them in the crock pot, let them go, and you go do whatever. All right, happy Sunday. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day, friends.